do not have the time to be the CEO, to be the editor, to be the person who reaches out, to be the person who types up emails, to be the person who sends the emails, reaches out to clients, and do all of the things that come with being an entrepreneur or becoming a content creator or becoming a professional or whatever you're doing in life, being able to juggle all these things and still being able to maintain having a good social life, being able to reach out and stay engaged with your family, eat, sleep, and do everything else that a regular human being has to do, it can become daunting. It can become a lot for one person. So you might be thinking to yourself, I need some help. I need a virtual assistant or I need a VA. And if you've been thinking that, you're watching the right video. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is a virtual assistant, should you get one, how to find one, pros and cons, and some tips for success. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So it is time to get that virtual assistant. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Peter Iwu. Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. On this channel, we talk about everything necessary to be successful as a young entrepreneur. I am a 23-year-old three-time entrepreneur where I run various businesses, and I started this YouTube channel to document the journey, provide some tips that's helped me along the road, and show you some of my personal life with some of my travels, family life, and all of that good stuff that you can see on the channel. Without further ado, so the first things first is, what is a virtual assistant? So a virtual assistant is exactly what it sounds like. It's your assistant, your employee who works from home. Most times they're remote and support you with a lot of admin tasks like reaching out to clients, sending emails, organizing spreadsheets, honestly, whatever you need. And we'll talk about exactly how to identify what you need a VA for later on in this video. But again, a virtual assistant is essentially a remote employee. In most cases, they're overseas. So they're in somewhere like the Philippines or India or somewhere in the country where whatever you're paying them can go a long way due to the exchange rate in their country. So you might be thinking to yourself, I need a virtual assistant, but I don't know what I need them for. To help you identify what you need a virtual assistant for, what I would recommend is getting a pen and a notepad. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down everything that you do as an entrepreneur. So just to kind of help us out with the starter list, most entrepreneurs write emails. So I'm gonna go ahead and write emails, and we're doing this live. So get your pen and paper and write with me. Another thing entrepreneurs do all the time is reaching out to clients. So you're gonna go ahead and write reach out to clients, right? Another thing that entrepreneurs do on a day-to-day is think about social media content. So social media content. And let's say you send out newsletters every week to your email list. You can go ahead and add newsletters on there, right? Making sure you list as much as you do down on your laptop, on a notepad, whatever it is for you, and start to ideate things that you can outsource to your virtual assistant. So that's the first thing I would do. A lot of people get caught up in the title of virtual assistant or get caught up in the title of employee and have them doing things that they actually do not need. That's the biggest mistake that you do not want to make, is have a virtual assistant working on things that you actually don't need them for, because that is a waste of money. You want to have your virtual assistant work on things that are key for the business but can be done without you, and these things should not directly correlate to client experience or your revenue, because those are things that you should continue having your hand on. So anything that involves you speaking directly to the client, anything that involves what brings in money to your business directly, I would recommend having you stay on top of that, and then having your VA stay on the more admin side of things to keep operational flow going in your business. Okay? So you might be thinking to yourself, why do I even need a virtual assistant? So I'm just going to give you 3 quick reasons on why you need a virtual assistant. Number 1, it helps with efficiency and productivity in your business. 2 is better than 1. Like I said before, you can only imagine what your business is like right now if it's currently just you running every single thing versus what it would look like if you had some assistance on some of the little things that, again, do not necessarily directly impact the revenue and client experience. However, it's extremely key for your business to keep on flowing. So it really helps with productivity and efficiency. It also saves times with cost. If you forget to do a specific task, or if you forget to respond to email that could lead to that $1,500 deal or client, that is a cost that you're able to save and secure with a virtual assistant because they're on top of it. So virtual assistants are those extra eyes on the table, making sure that you're not leaving any money on the table. Virtual assistants help you save so much time. I can't count how many times I was about to do a task or I was about to respond to an email, and I was like, hold on, my virtual assistant can do this. And now I can take that time and focus on something else. Again, as you go into 225, you want to make sure you're working smarter and not harder. Yes, it's okay to be involved in every single thing in your business, but listen, it is time to delegate. Delegate, delegate, delegate. If you don't take anything away from this video, go on your whiteboard and write delegate. If you're like me and you have so much task on your whiteboard, go and find things on there that you can just go beside and write delegate, because that is the name of the game when it comes to just business and obviously virtual assistant. Lastly, virtual assistants give you the room and opportunity to scale your business. Most times, us business owners are stuck at a specific level of our business because we're so invested into one small aspect and we don't have the time, neither do we have the bandwidth to scale and grow our businesses. With virtual assistants, you're able to have them worry on the smaller things while you're thinking about how to grow your business. As a CEO, you want to make sure you're working on your business and not in your business. So having a virtual assistant gives you the leeway to make sure that you can focus on the things that pertain to growing your business itself, as opposed to you being the CEO and employee, because you want to make sure that you have some time to sit and plan for the future of your business. And you're not able to do that if you have a gazillion things that you need to do and you're the only person that can do it. So having a virtual assistant handling those things can give you the comfortability and the ease of mind to scale and grow your business comfortably. So let's also just talk about some pros and cons of having a virtual assistant. Let's start with the cons, right? First things first, again, as I mentioned, most virtual assistants are overseas, so some of them might have speaking barriers, language barriers. However, we're going to talk about how I find virtual assistants to make sure you don't run into that hurdle. But first things first is that most of them are overseas, so if you're one who doesn't do too well with communicating with people who might have a strong accent, or you might have to repeat yourself a couple times, it could be an issue. However, for me, I'm from Africa and I love dealing with people internationally, so it isn't too much of a problem. And transparently, your virtual assistant will get used to you, how you talk, and you will get used to how they talk. You're not going to be like, huh, for years working with the virtual assistant. But in the beginning, you could see some communication differences and challenges. But again, it's nothing that lasts. Number two, the second con is time difference. So again, in most cases, because your virtual assistant is overseas, there could be time differences. But again, making sure that you communicate, set expectations, which we'll talk about in this video, you can be a-okay, and time difference necessarily won't be an issue. So like my virtual assistant knows that I wake up around 6 a.m. on PST, so she's able to set alarms on her end to make sure that we're both up around the same time. But again, if you're not setting those expectations, if you're not communicating, a lot of these cons that I'm talking about are more likely to happen versus not. And lastly, most virtual assistants do not come trained for your business, so you will have to do a little bit of hand-holding in the very beginning of your relationship with your virtual assistant. And again, in this video, we're going to talk about what I do to make sure that my assistants have their expectations set, that they understood on exactly what they can do, and they have all resources for success when it comes to the tasks I'm assigning them. So make sure you stay to the end of the video to catch those tips and resources. Also, if you're getting value thus far from this video, make sure you like and subscribe. As you can see, we're shy of 1,000 subscribers, and we're really trying to make sure that the community is growing and that the value that I'm putting out here is actually being absorbed by people. So you liking, subscribing will help me understand that this is something I should continue. As y'all know, this YouTube thing can get a bit discouraging when you just have like 50 views on an informative video like this, right? So make sure you like and subscribe, share the video for anybody who's been thinking about getting a virtual assistant. Now let's talk about the pros. Honestly, it kind of goes back to what we were speaking on earlier. So it helps you save time. It helps you have the opportunity to grow and scale your business because you're not sitting and working on everything. And it gives you the opportunity to really enhance your relationships with the client because you're not extremely busy on just getting the job done. You have time to build rapport with your clients, think about how you can provide more offerings, how you can provide more services, get new clients, and really help grow that business. So those are some of the pros and cons to having a virtual assistant. But all in all, I think the pros outweigh the cons. And I think that if you're a business owner, content creator, or just a professional, having a virtual assistant is extremely key, and it's really going to make a huge difference in your business, especially in 2025. So let's talk about finding your virtual assistant. I know this is the hardest part for people. I can't find a virtual assistant. I can't find a good one. We're going to talk about all of that, what I do to find successful virtual assistants and what you can do. So there are various ways that you can find virtual assistants. Some of my preferred ways is between platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. I do prefer Upwork a little bit more, and we're going to go into my laptop and show you exactly how I identify my prospects as it relates to virtual assistants and how you can do the same as well. So without further ado, let's go into Upwork and show you exactly what I do here to find my virtual assistants. Okay, so for those who are new to Upwork, Upwork is essentially a platform where you can go and make a post for a job. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a virtual assistant. If you're looking for a content creator, if you're looking for a designer, if you're looking for an editor, you can come in here, create a posting about what you're looking for, post it, and then numerous applications will flood to your job. You can go ahead and start vetting them and take it from there. Okay, so we're in Upwork now. So as you can see here, a lot of my job postings date back to mid last year, 2024. early 2023. So I've been doing this for a very long time. This is nothing that I just started today. Okay, so the first things first is you want to come in and make a job posting. Very easy, where it says hire talent. You can come in and post a job. It'll bring you to a screen that looks like this, and then you can press post a new job. For this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of my favorite postings just so you can see what they look like. I have appointment setters. I have real video editors that I've been posting about. So let's go ahead and just look at my job posting so you can see some of the things that I included in here to really attract the right people, okay? So the first thing is just a brief paragraph on what you're looking for. So in this case, I was looking for an appointment setter, and I highlighted that this is a remote position, and I highlighted the time frame that I want them to work, which is 9 to 5 EST. So immediately into the posting, I am setting expectations on the time and what I'm looking for on a daily basis, which is meetings. Now, you also want to highlight the responsibilities in detail. So in this case is conducting and reaching out to clients, utilizing the scripts provided, making sure they're familiar with whatever platform you're going to have them using or something similar. Then you can also have preferred skills. So if they've had any past experience that you want them to bring over, if they know how to work independently, if they have a proven track record over a certain skill, you can detail that in your job posting. And then straight off the top, I'm telling them what the compensation structure is. So it can vary between an hourly pay, or it can vary by commission, or it can be a per project pay setup. So in this case, it varies. It depends on exactly what I need them to do. That's going to determine what this compensation is. But at the very bottom, my secret is here. We're going to be conducting a group interview with some of the applicants, and this will help, number one, save time and determine who is going to be fit for the job. Now, before going into that, one thing that's helped for me as it relates to diversifying my applicant options is duplicating my job posting. So where you come in here, so where you have a job posting, let's say you're wanting a video editor too, you can duplicate your job posting, or in this case, reuse it, and then just change the title. So sometimes people would apply for a job that says Instagram editor as opposed to video editor, or TikTok editor as opposed to Instagram editor. So what you want to do is just come in here, duplicate the job, switch the title, maybe switch a couple things out in the body description, and you will notice that you'll have an additional 2 to 3 times of applications come in, just so you have a variety of options and you're not just stuck with a short list of 5 to 10 applicants. So that's essentially the benefit of duplicating your job posting in Upwork, okay? Now, the next thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna have a lot of people messaging you, hitting you up. I'm gonna go to my messages just so you can see here. Numerous of people hitting me up saying, hey, I'm ready to apply. Can I get some more information? I would love to work for you, et cetera, et cetera. Now, so here's just some of the messages of me speaking to some of the applicants and them just going over their expectations, me going over my expectations, and kind of having that small talk here in the DMs with a lot of people who've shown interest in my jobs. Now, this is the first step of looking for your virtual assistants. Now you've put out your application, you have some prospects that you think will be dope, and now it's time to select who you think would be great for the role. So one thing that I do that a lot of people don't do that I would really recommend that you do is once you have 15 to 20 applications, I would host a group interview. Now, what that looks like is you set a date and time where you have all your 10 to 15 applicants on a Zoom call at the same time. Now, the reason why I do this, number one, is that it does increase pressure. However, I'm looking for a virtual assistant who can do well under pressure, because my business is a fast-paced business. So most times my VA might be doing things in front of other people. They might be speaking in front of other people, meeting new people. So having them on a group interview kind of just sets that vibe and preparation to like, okay, I'm probably going to be speaking or engaging with other people in this role if I'm doing my interview with others. The second thing is that it saves time with you interviewing one person after the other. If you had 15 people to do one-on-one interviews with, you will probably spend 2 to 3 weeks interviewing virtual assistants, and we ain't doing that. We don't got that type of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have everybody come on one Zoom interview, and you can message people on there and say, hey, you've moved forward in this virtual assistant role. We're having an interview on this day at 7 p.m. PST. This is gonna play a role in what next steps look like for you. So when you have this Zoom interview, one thing that I would do is have 2 to 3 simple tasks that you can have them do on the Zoom interview. So what I like to do is just three simple things. Number one, I give them a script to read. So I would give them a script like, hey, my name is Peter. I work at X agency, XYZ. And I would put it in the Zoom chat and have everybody read it one after the other. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to see if I can understand them and if their English is something that I can deal with, if I can work with, if I can understand them, if they can understand me, and really help just get a gauge of what their pronunciation is like when it comes to certain things. Now, this may or may not be key for you depending on what you're going to have them do. If they're going to be on calls with other people, this could be extremely important, or this could be important if you just want to see how well they talk when it comes to conversations with you, right? And obviously people's nerves are going to be shaking them up in the first go round. So I would always give them a second or third opportunity to read the script just to make sure that they have a comfortable take. And that really just helps me tick off who can speak well, who can I understand. The next thing that I have them do is a quick task. So it can just be something as simple as, all right, here is a spreadsheet, organize your spreadsheet by name, date, time, and service. And simply what I'm looking for is who is doing this the quickest. So this helps me gauge who takes a task and responds immediately and get certain things done quick. See the purpose of me having them do such a task to really see who can respond to what I'm asking for in a timely manner. The last thing I do is just a process elimination type of question. So most of my VAs are actively in my social media channels engaging with clients. So I might give them like an objection statement or a client turning down an offer and then say, out of A, B, C, or D, what would be a good response for this potential client who was not interested in our service? And then based off of their selection, that'll just help me have a good understanding of who's dealt with client objection before, who has dealt with conversations similar to this in social media already, and really help me find my pick. Now, after you do this, you're going to start seeing people who stand out to you, and I would just take note of them. And personally, just so you're not breaking anybody's dreams on the call, I would just end it off by saying thank you all for participating. We're going to be reaching out with people who we're going to be moving forward with after this call. And I would honestly have the VAs that don't make it in the first round just on standby. So you can just afford 2 VAs and you had 5 VAs who stand out, still keep the other 3 around or maybe use them for something else, and then send a message moving forward with the 2 who you think would be a great fit for your team, okay? So that's how I find my VAs. Now let's talk about paying your virtual assistants. I would personally recommend one of 2 styles. Depending on what your business model is, you can go the commission route where they get paid per appointment set or by appointment that they set that actually had a show up. So in other words, they set the appointment and did the necessary steps to remind the meeting attendees to show up and the meeting actually was held. Or it can just be based off of task. For me, I go by an hourly rate. So it can range anywhere between $2 to $5. I would recommend incorporating bonuses if you're paying your VA anything less than $3 to incentivize them to keep on going, because transparently $3 isn't enough. However, depending on what you're having them do and the complexities of it, it could be fine. Some other VAs have other jobs that they add on with whatever they're doing for you. So it's something they can manage. Between commission and hourly rate, preferably hourly rate, that's kind of what I would recommend when it comes to paying your virtual assistant. Let's talk about setting expectations with your virtual assistant. As I mentioned earlier, 11 times out of 10, your virtual assistant is not going to just fall out the sky, fall out the interview, understanding how your business works. I would recommend having 1 week of training, which involves them just going through documents about your business, going through the website. You can use Google Form or ChatGPT to send them a quick knowledge quiz on your business to make sure they really understand the company they're working for, how you all operate, what you all stand for, etc. Because this is very key for the rest of your experience with virtual assistants. Now, after that first week of training where you're familiarizing them with your company, you want to make sure that you're building your SOP. So SOPs stand for Standard Operating Procedure. It is literally a step-by-step breakdown and walkthrough of what you're going to be having your assistant do. So just to pull up one, let's say you're having them do outreach. What your SOP would look like is log into Instagram, search up this kind of business, use this kind of script, look for this. If they don't respond, do this. After you DM, comment that. And that's simply what your SOP is supposed to look like. Now, just looking at mines here, this is just an example. We don't normally use it, so I don't mind showing it, but we were having them reach out to lawyers for marketing services, right? So I would give them a walkthrough on going on Instagram and using these hashtags to look for a specific clientele. And then I would give them a qualification list. So if the lawyer has this, or this is who we want to reach out to. And then you would provide them with a script that they can use and then you provide them with the script that they can use to reach out, so on and so forth. Now, This was early 224 where I was literally typing down everything. But what I do now, slash what I would recommend you do, is create a loom. So a loom is literally what I've been using in this video here when I go to my laptop, and it's essentially where you can record yourself on your laptop walking through the task or explaining the task. I think this helps a little bit better because they're able to hear your voice. If you make a mistake, you're able to kind of speak on that mistake in the video, and if they have any questions, they can just go back to that video and watch the walkthrough as opposed to having to read so much. This SOP here that I'm looking at is 7 pages. If this was a Loom video, this probably would have been 2 minutes of quick walkthrough on what I need her to do, and she would be able to understand a bit more succinctly than strictly text on a screen. So that's what I would recommend. 2 additional things that I would recommend when it comes to getting a VA is having daily meetings, even if it's just for 15 minutes, having a check-in. Normally, I use a platform called Asana where every morning my VA has her tasks essentially already set for her to do. She kind of has a good understanding on what's expected of her. I normally use my Sundays to go in Asana and set tasks for her, or I'll make a to-do list for myself and then have what I would have her do and then what I would do, and then assign what she needs to do into Asana. She actually assigns my tasks to me as well on Asana, so you can also have your VA kind of be your accountability partner and assign you to tasks that you should be doing as well. The second thing that I was gonna say is making sure that you have some sort of communication channel. I personally use Slack for communication with my VA, and this is honestly just a place where we can come, have conversations, have quick voice calls if we need to, and you can communicate with her directly and communicate what you need them to do. I'll be starting a mentorship for people who are looking to hire a VA and kind of need a walkthrough on what to task them with, how to train them, how to interview them, how to do a lot of the things that I talked about. So make sure that you DM me on Instagram VA. If you watch this video and you're like, you know what, I can use some help and guidance on finding a virtual assistant, making sure my operations are set up in my business, that I have my SOPs, that I have my Loom set up, and I'm ready to kill the game. I'll also have an AI course that walks through all the necessary tools that you need to be successful as a business owner to add on along with your VA, because if you have a virtual assistant plus some AI tools, you are killing the game. That is literally the secret sauce to success in my business. And I think that this is something that would be a great investment. Is literally just 27 bucks, where I literally walk you through so many AI tools that you can have a VA learn and play a role in your efficiency strategy for your business. Again, I hope this video was valuable for you. If it was, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's also a playlist on my channel that walks through other things that you can utilize as a business owner to be successful this year. I'm wishing you the best, and I'm extremely rooting for you, and I know that you can do it, and you're gonna be successful. It's really just a matter of time. And I just want to end off by saying, don't forget our 3-letter rule: think, plan, execute. You've already thought about it, and I'm sure you've planned to have a VA, and you watching this video is also a part of that process, but do not forget to execute. Don't forget to take everything you just learned from this video and actually implement it. I want to challenge you, before you go and scroll to the next video, take some time, rewatch this video, rewind, note down some of the key things that you need to do, set deadlines for yourself, a time and a date, and get it done. Please do not go and watch 20 videos and achieve nothing. That is the worst thing that can happen from you watching this video, and that would be a waste of my 20+ minutes that I took breaking down everything if you weren't able to go back and execute anything that I've said, okay? So again, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment if this was helpful, anything else that I should make a video on, and I'll see you on the next clip. Peace.